So today we're going to take a look at this British Churchill MkIII tank from World War II, and we're going to find out if it should belong in your collection of World War II tanks. So let's get started. So if you guys are into British tanks, you're sure going to love this one. So this is the Churchill MkIII tank from World War II, and it's from Dragon Armor. And it's a non-die-cast tank, so it's not a die-cast version. So typical Dragon Armor packaging, side window, top window, Churchill MkIII, and this is in 1/72 scale. Here's the side of it. And if you guys are thinking about getting this particular one, here's the item number on that side here. Now here is the other side. Another side view. Typical Dragon Armor detail. It says a little bit about the tank. And always, if this was a die-cast model, it would actually say die-cast right below here, and it's not present. So this is an all-plastic version of this Churchill MkIII tank from World War II. And let's see if we got, and here's another view of what's on the carton. Some good detail of the tank. Has some information on it. Some nice package, typical nice packaging from Dragon Armor. So let's go ahead and take this bad boy out of its carton here. Now, most Dragon Armor 1/72 scale tank models come with a clear plastic top and a black base. So they easily come apart. And the tank is held together on the bottom by two screws that are located right here. But what's nice about these bases, they make a great platform to do a nice diorama. So once you have a diorama finished, you can put the cover back on and display it on your shelf just like that. So you do have some options on how maybe you would want to display this on your shelf at home or at work. So let's go ahead and take the screws off the bottom. Just firmly hold the side of the tank. I'm going to grab my screwdriver here. Remember, just hang on to the sides of the tank pretty good. There's one. Almost got it. There we go. And you're going to notice it has some spacers right here that connect. And this is where the screws go into the lower portion of the hull here. So let's get up close to this tank and see if it belongs on your shelf. So like I said at the intro, if you guys are into British tanks, you're probably going to like this tank. So this is in 1/72 scale. And always, I want to put in my palm, my hand, so you can see actual size of this model. And as you can see, it's a pretty long tank. So let's get up close on this tank here. Now, Now it did have a coil spring suspension, and what this tank was good at was climbing steep inclines compared to other World War II tanks. So it looks like it has a separately applied tow line here. Goes all the way here. Looks like a separately applied. So this, as far as I know, is the exhaust area. And this is probably some kind of manifold to dampen the, the, the smoke that would come from the motor. Nicely detailed there. Let me see if I can get close to these wheels here. Let me go to the back. And I believe this was extra petro for the engine. It does have a tow hook here. Tow hook on that side. Let's turn the tank around to this area. Looks like some separately applied details here. Has some nice markings here. Another, or I should say, tow cables, not hooks. And these doors were to get in ammo more easily. And also, I believe the crew can get in from this side, and there was actually a door on the other side too. Let me show you guys that. And that's right there. So again, this is an all plastic model, not a die cast. So one of the things I've noticed between Dragon Armor's die cast and non-die cast tank models is the amount of detail that's incorporated in them. So you're going to get a little bit more detail when it comes to the die cast versions compared to the all plastic versions. So you got a machine gun up here. Looks like we got two headlights up here. One over there, one right there. Now this British Churchill MkIII Tank saw service between 1941 and 1945. It had a 5-man crew, and the main gun on it was a 6-pounder. And the engine was made by Bedford, was a 12-cylinder water-cooled engine, petrol engine, that produced about 350 horsepower. And like I said before, had a coil spring suspension. Transmission was a 4-speed. And they made roughly about 5,600 of these Churchill MkIII tanks in World War II. Let's see if I can get an overhead shot here. Some nice detail back here. Some good detail here. So the turret does move right to left. But I noticed on this particular tank, the barrel does not move up and down. So be cautious of that if you decide to get this model. Got some nice detail up here. And more than likely, these are optics. So it looks like you got a machine gun here. And you got a machine gun here. And as far as the bottom of the tank here, there's some detail over here. Got a bunch of rivets here. But overall, not a bad looking tank. Paint job is not too bad. So one of the things I wanted to show you guys is the difference in size between a Churchill MkIII tank compared to a King Tiger tank. And you can see the King Tiger is definitely wider than the Churchill. But when it comes to length, the Churchill has the King Tiger beat by a little bit as far as the length of the hull itself. So let me get a back view here. And let's get a view from this angle. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the camera off the tripod so you can get an overhead look, so you guys can get an idea of what it looks like from overhead, so you can see the differences between the two. So while doing this review, I noticed a couple things of interest. One is I noticed that the track over on this side is kind of off its kilter here. It's not straight, as you can see, compared to this one. So the tracks are not aligned entirely correct on the wheels themselves. Now, another interesting thing I found out about this non-die-cast model, it has some weight. So I'm trying to figure out where the weight comes from. So I got a magnet, and watch. The lower hull of this non-die-cast model is actually metal. So that was very surprising, because on the packaging itself, let me get the packaging for you guys. It does not say die cast on the bottom. So I'm not sure if it was a misprint on the packaging from Dragon Armor. I'm not sure. I'd love to know you guys' comments on that. But like I said, my suspicion, because this tank has some weight to it. So that's why I got out a magnet, just to see if any of this was metal. And just so happened, this lower portion is all metal. So that's where all the weight's coming from. Now, as far as overall quality, I pointed out on the track issue here, it is lacking weathering around the doors and the rivets. The weathering is not too bad up here. Detail is not too bad up here. Overall, I paid, I think, $39 for this. I believe. I'll have to check. It might have been less than that. But I wanted a British tank in my collection. Now, it's funny when you start to do a review and you get up close to these models, what you might find. I believe these might be fire extinguishers. And if anybody knows on this channel what they might be but I'm pretty sure that's what those are. Then back here I noticed these are ammo for probably the machine guns. Just store it on the back. Probably a good place for them. Let me turn this turret a little bit here. Let's see if we're missing any detail back here. So overall, the weathering is not too bad. The paint job is not too bad. And like I said before, the barrel does not go up and down. So keep that in mind. And another thing I noticed is that the barrel is crooked compared to the turret. So that's another downfall of this model. But overall, it's a nice looking model. Let me know what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please hit that like button and subscribe button so you can keep up to date on our latest videos. Until next time, guys, have a good one.